Welcome back to Down on the Homestead. So today I'm going to up pot a few things. I had a friend give us some cuttings and I'll show you what they look like. This is called African blue basil and the seeds are actually sterile. So the only way to grow these is to propagate them by stems. So I took these and I just stuck them in some water, and this is what we have. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Just by sticking them in water. Took probably a couple weeks. So it's about time to get these in some dirt. So I'm going to show you. It's simple. You just stick them in some soil, dirt, whatever you call it. I actually use solo cups. They're just very inexpensive and you can use them unless they get cracked. And I apologize, the fan is on, but it is way too hot to turn it off. So hopefully you can hear me over the fan. It's on high. So basically, take a full cup. This is the soil that I use. I don't remember what kind this is, but it's pretty good potting soil. But I'm actually going to use one that is a little bit more empty. So I'm going to take this. Now, it actually rooted way up here. See that? So I'm going to make sure that I put this deep enough to cover those roots. I just stick it down in my cup. Take a full cup of soil and just put that down in there, and I don't pack it really hard. I just kind of lightly poke it down in there so it stays up. Finish filling that up. And make sure that I water it really good. So I think, and I'm not going to put these in my cattle mineral tubs. I had looked it up, and I've never heard of African blue basil, but they actually grow pretty good size as in a bush. And they say that it's really, really good at deterring pests. So I might strategically put these around on our homestead and put maybe some buckets of tomatoes or, you know, a companion plant, and maybe that'll help with pest pressure, because it's really, really bad this year. So I've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these, so I'm going to finish up potting these and get them watered. But look at the roots on those. Hope you can see them. Now, I meant to tell you that if you get some cuttings of this particular variety of basil, I just take a little mason jar, put some water, you know, about yay high, and put it in my windowsill. Put the stems in there and just keep the water changed. You don't want all gooky water, so just, you know, every other day change the water, but that's all you do. Stick them in your windowsill and you're good to go. Since I'm out here up potting the African blue basil, I do have some roselle hibiscus that I need to up pot. I already have, I don't know, like 6 in my garden that are looking really good. I wanted a little bit more, so I planted 12 more and 10 came up. So I should have plenty of roselle, which is also medicinal. So I'm going to get these up potted today, and I'll show you how I do that. It's simple. Alright, so I went ahead and loosened this up a little bit, but this is my little plug. I only put a little bit, not very deep, so that'll just sit right down in there. It's actually a little too much. So just put it to where it's just flush with the cup. Then I come in and put some really good topsoil in there, kind of poke it down so it will get all down the sides of that. Now when you water these, the water will help to, you know, take the soil kind of down in the nooks and crannies. It's not quite centered, but it doesn't matter. So that's it. And then I'll get them watered. I'm going to get the rest of these up potted, and I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, I have our roselle hibiscus all up potted and watered. I'll come back and water them in a little bit too, because a lot of times this soil, the topsoil that I use, it's a little bit on the dry side, so I want to make sure that it soaks all the way down to the roots, and it kind of sat there for a little bit, so I'll come back and water them. These are my up potted African blue basil. They'll probably look a little rough because they went from the, you know, the water into the soil, but I got them watered good, so I'll make sure I keep those watered. Now I'm going to give you an update on some of my medicinal herbs. This I have to be careful of not to touch, and it's really hard because I like to run my hands over my little, you know, new plants, because I'm just so excited. I know that's crazy, but anyway, this is stinging nettle, and trust me, you don't want to do that. So we need to up pot these. I want to get them in a bigger tub away from all my other things, because I don't want to accidentally brush up against it. This is some rosemary that I took some cuttings, and I took the leaves about halfway up and just stripped them and stuck them in there. So they're doing really good. Now this is my cilantro, and I need to come back in right before I go in the house because it's hot and I don't want it sitting and wilting. I need to cut this back, and I'm going to cut it. I mean, it's pretty good height. So I'm going to cut it about right here, and then I'll take all this. It's actually starting to flower, so I will snip those off, and then I'll cut up this cilantro and freeze dry it and have it in my pantry. Okay, so this is my table. I know you've seen my table of things that we harden off, and when it's fixing to go into the ground, the garden, tubs, whatever. But this is really cool. So I've never grown, actually I've never grown hardly any of this before, but this is hops, and this is like Velcro. I had no idea. This is like really cool, but it sticks to you like Velcro. So it's cool. So we need to get these in the ground. They get really tall, but we just hadn't had time. So this is cool. I love things that are just different, and that's neat. I used my carrot beds, and I went ahead, and this tub is turmeric, and I actually have turmeric coming up. Didn't even know if any of it would come up because I've never grown turmeric, but I have some coming. So every day I'm counting. It's exciting. Okay, so next to that was also my carrot bed. This is my ginger bed. So I planted a whole ton of it, so it's actually looking really good. So that is some ginger. I have some smaller ones. I think I've got like 12 that are coming up. So there's some there. Now this one is one that a friend gave me. We have a prepper meeting that we go to, and she had started that one. So, but yeah, so my ginger's coming up, and that's just amazing to me. This is my mullein bed, and let me tell you, if you grow any medicinal things, mullein should be one of the top ones on your list. but this stuff is amazing for lungs, respiratory things. Make sure you grow mullein. Now these are all of my tubs for medicinal plants. These tubs are actually were given to me. There's a bunch of them, so it would take several people, quite a few people. They are cattle mineral lick tubs. So if anybody's asking, make sure if you know anybody that has cattle, they're friends, get you some. They're awesome. All right. So this is lavender. Now people say that you can't grow lavender in Florida. This is a variety that they say you can grow down into the zone 9. So I'll post the actual name, official name, on the screen for you so you can see what kind I got. I actually got it from Baker Creek. This is my chamomile. I've been harvesting flowers on these for a while, and it takes a lot of flowers to end up with much. But I will say that I think next year I want to have a raised bed, because you need a lot of these to make much of anything. Okay, these are my peppermint, and this is one that I would grow less of because it's pretty prolific. And it is, I've already cut 2 of them down. I haven't cut that one, but I need to trim that up. This, I'm not sure if I'd ever grow again. This stuff ends everywhere. This is purslane. And when it goes to seed, dear Lord, it was all in my bed, everywhere. It was everywhere. So if you grow it, make sure you keep trimming it off before it seeds, because it's everywhere. These are kind of my end of my calendula tubs. Now they're still flowering, but a bunch of them have gone to seed, and I've been snipping those off. I'm collecting those. I'm going to give it some to a friend of mine, and I'll have plenty to grow later. These are my yarrow beds. I actually have some yarrow in smaller individual containers, but they look good. Getting some flowers off of those. This is my lemon balm, and it's looking really nice. My dill, got to come in. It's been raining for like 10 days. I haven't been able to do much, but those things are tall. That's my mammoth dill. I need to cut those down and freeze dry those. So, and that is my hyssop, holy basil. Oops. My holy basil, they smell so good. I need to trim those up too and get some of those flowers. Some of it's already gone to seed, but that's some of my broadleaf sage. This was a later planted marshmallow. This marshmallow looks fantastic. This is neat. Amazing plant. This is some more hyssop. Alright, this is more holy basil. This is a newer batch that I started. I actually probably have plenty because it is pretty prolific and it's growing tons of new ones. This is my St. John's wort. I actually had these in the little trays a little bit too long. They should be way bigger, but that was my fault. So now they're doing pretty well. And I have some extras planted out by my fence. My feverfew. I had 2 tubs of those. And this is my catnip. It's looking seriously good. And it's blooming. So I need to come in here once it starts blooming and harvest quite a bit of this, and I'll get that freeze dried also. These are my motherwort plants. And this is horehound. Now these actually will have blooms right here at each junction of little, leaves coming out. So each one of those, and I'm waiting for those to bloom because they say you should let them bloom and then harvest those, and I'll harvest them back, you know, a pretty good bit. My dandelions, why is it that things like this grow crazy in the wild, but if I take care of them, they don't do anything? I mean, they're kind of brown looking. I don't know if they've gotten too much water, if it's just the sun, but I mean, they grow everywhere, so I don't know why that would be a problem. But anyway, they're growing. It's just they don't look that great. Y'all, this is like my pride and joy medicinal plant. This is my echinacea. Never would you convince me that I would be growing my own echinacea, but look at this. I don't know if you can see that. That is just beautiful flower. Look at that. That is so neat. And there's a bunch of them on this one plant. Got blooms there all the way down. That is so cool. I love this. Just absolutely love that. And then these, the smaller ones, they're starting to get blooms on those, so that's exciting. And then this is another bed that I had, or tub, and it's starting to get blooms on that. So I'm just so excited about this flower. That is the neatest thing. All right. This is just some basil that I planted that I keep cutting and taking it in the house and freeze drying. This is some Italian oregano. I actually left it in the trays a little bit longer than I should have, so they're not real big, but they're growing, they're doing well. But that's Italian basil. This is some more horehound that I started later because I didn't think I had enough. This is my Vicks plant. I have cut this thing back like 3 times. It is just gets massive, like 3-foot long little stems. So I freeze dried some of that too. And last but not least is my bee balm. It looking really nice. I think it's fixing to start flowering. Looks like it, so I'm excited about that one too. Alright, this is just a little update on my grapes. They're starting to get some size to them. Oop, that one came off. Oops. Oh, I'll eat that one. That one wasn't ripe. Ooh, yeah, that wasn't ripe. So anyway, I don't know if you can see them, but don't eat a grape. It isn't ripe. Look at this. I'm so excited about the amount of grapes that we are getting. So exciting. Look at that. Have some on the other side, but not as many on this side as the other. But how beautiful is that? We have quite a bit of elderberry planted kind of all over, so I'm not going to drag you all over the place to show you that, but everything's doing good. All of the cuttings are growing great, so I'm really happy about that. That's, like I said before, this is the first time I have started elderberry from cuttings that I grew, so really proud of that. And I know I've had some comments about, with some of the medicinal herbs, what they do, what I do with them. Honestly, I'm learning. So how I roll is I bought a bunch of seeds, knew nothing about any of it, and just started growing it. I look at it as I will learn as I go. Something will start growing really good, so I pull it up to see when I'm supposed to harvest, how I'm supposed to preserve it, whether it's a tincture or freeze dry, which most of it will be freeze dry for now. So, you know, a lot of people would study it, learn everything they need to know about all these plants, and then they've spent a year and they still don't have any plants. And I do the opposite. I just plant it and then learn. So that way, as I learn, I already have them growing. So that's how I do things around here. So anyway, our garden, for the most part, everything's pretty shot. Here in Florida, we actually, like tomato seeds, things like that, we start in January. So by the time whether we're past our frost date, we get things in the ground and we get everything harvested early. So we try to beat this heat that we're in now. Normally it isn't this hot until like July, August. But it's super hot right now. So our tomatoes are shot, cucumbers are shot. The only thing that we have growing right now is Christmas lima beans, which yesterday I just started picking. I let them actually dry up on the vines. That way they're actually dry beans. That way I can store them as dry beans, or you know, use them for seed later. So I just wait till they turn brown, which they're starting to do now. So I'm picking the Christmas lima beans. Our pole beans, I got pretty good picking from those, and then they were pretty much done, but then they started getting lots of blooms. So I'm just kind of waiting for another round if, you know, the heat doesn't just totally destroy them. So I got them coming up, and we planted a bunch of red ripper peas, mainly to build our soil because it adds nutrients back into the ground. So once we're finished with them, we will till them back in the soil, dirt, whatever. But then in the meantime, I can still pick some red ripper peas and use those to cook with or store whatever I decided to do with those. So got those. We still have some corn. Our first 6 rows that we planted of Seminole XR sweet corn was fantastic. Now the stalks didn't get really big. I don't know why. We did the same thing we always did, but the corn turned out great. Our second set, we did another 6 rows and did everything the same, fertilized at the same time, all of that. And the stalks are like 3 to 4 foot at the most, tall, but they're got lots of corn on them. It's not ready to pick yet, so we're just waiting. You know, I don't know how that's going to turn out, but anyway, don't know. We did everything the same. Same seeds came from the same place, all that. So, hey buddy. So anyway, we have that going. We have some watermelons still. We have some jalapenos that we're picking. I do have a row of sunflowers that's doing really well. So, I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. Like I said, here where I'm at, we're pretty much finishing up the spring stuff. Just trying to grow some stuff that works, you know, in the heat here, as more of as a cover crop. So I am doing some tinctures right now. Now, like I said, I'm just making them, and then I'm studying as I go. But it takes like 6 to 8 weeks for a tincture to be finished. So I'm just making them. That way I don't wait till I learn, like I said, and then in 3 or 4 months I'm like, man, I wish I had some of that stuff, because now it takes 6 to 8 weeks to make. I'm on it. I got that done. So I have rosemary tincture going, calendula, yarrow, and some mullein, and I'm fixing to do some ginger, I believe, tonight. So I just want to update you guys and keep at it. I know, especially people that have just started gardening, you know, they're about ready to give up because, you know, with the weather, and it's either too wet or too dry, or the temperatures are crazy and it's hot. If you get past that, you get diseases that hit them. If you get past that, you have army worms and these stupid Japanese beetles and tomato hornworms and God knows whatever weird stuff you have chewing on your plants. Just hang in there. You have to keep on it. Our biggest thing, besides some of the pests, is weeds. The weed pressure here is insane. And it's very frustrating because we try to keep on it, and then next thing you know, it's flipping covered in nutgrass, and nutgrass is like of Satan, I swear. It's Satan's like favorite grass. It's awful, and it's everywhere, and it's hard to get rid of. It's almost impossible unless you just move somewhere that has no nutgrass. But anyway, that's probably been my hardest thing to deal with, is the flipping weeds. So if you have weeds in your garden, don't compare or stop comparing your rough looking garden to somebody who has a little perfect little weedless garden. I mean, if you do, that's cool, but you know what, I'm at the point where I don't care. I've got grass everywhere out there, which probably is why I'm not going to show you a lot of my stuff, because it looks awful. But you know what, I don't care. I don't have time. Life is stressful enough without worrying about how pretty my garden looks. I'm just trying to grow food. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me anymore. Although I do catch myself apologizing when people come over and it's like, sorry about the weeds. I don't care, whatever. But just do something. Just grow something. If you can't grow things, if you're in an apartment or in a HOA, which I would never, ever, ever recommend people doing, but anyway, go buy things in bulk. Learn how to can. Learn how to freeze dry. I have affiliate links below. Go check those out. Doesn't cost you any more money. I get a small commission from anything purchased through those affiliate links, and I really appreciate it. And but go check that stuff out. Go to a local farmer's market. Go in with a friend. Go halves. I mean, I know, you know, having 50 to 100 pounds of potatoes is a lot of potatoes. So split it with somebody. So do it together. It's fun. Learn to, you know, help each other. Can together. You can cut up and have fun. But get it done. If you can't get that kind of stuff, make sure you're buying canned things. Green beans, carrots, corn, spinach, collard greens, whatever you can do. Just get it done. Get your pantry stocked, because I really think that you're gonna wish you had if you don't. So hang in there. Got to stay positive. And thank you so much for watching our channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the little bell. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, if you have any concerns, just comment below, and we appreciate it. So you have a great day, and we will see you on the next video.